I hope you like pain.
I'll never tell you where they are.
Then it's time to make those tears real.
This video is brought to you by Displate. Did someone say action? Did someone say interrogation? No, lucky, because the Obi-Wan show just delivered the worst interrogation and action scene I think I've ever witnessed, and I've seen the bomber run and salt speeders of The Last Jedi. Star Wars was never considered hard sci-fi, but even with fantasy, you like to think that some effort goes into creating a fantastical world that fires off the imagination. I don't know if I've ever used the word fantastical before. Just one of those words that's nice to say, and I better stick to the nice words because I had to edit out a couple of the last video after a serious warning. World building and stories, especially world building in fantasy sci-fi, should open up your mind to new possibilities or take you on a trip far away. Creative ideas don't have to be foolproof or always make perfect sense. We can accept dragons flying or a wizard running the universe, even if we can't explain those ideas. They just need to be plausible enough to immerse us in the story and not go against their own universe and what we know of it. Creative disasters come when you run with ideas that are mediocre at best and involve situations or elements we can easily explain because they come from our everyday lives, like how water and glass work. Yes, we finally get to visit a place I've never heard of before. And Christ, I couldn't believe the name when I did hear it.
Fortress Inquisitorius.
Fortress Inquisitorius.
Fortress Inquisitorius.
What Harry Potter bullshit is this?
Petrificus Totalis.
I swear, hand on heart, I fucking burst out laughing when I heard that name. I had to pause the show and check this guy wasn't just taking the piss. And he wasn't. Fortress Inquisitorius. I thought the Inquisitors had a bad name. That sounds like something straight out of Spaceballs.
Pizza the Hut!
Fortress Inquisitorius is now the new king of fucking stupid names in Star Wars. Apparently we got to visit Fortress Inquisitorius in Jedi Fallen Order. I tell you, every ridiculous idea, whether taken from another movie or imported from a game or cartoon, just gets to now live on forever in Star Wars, no matter how fucking stupid, ridiculous or mundane it is. And Lucasfilm don't dare consider that even though something may have worked in a cartoon or game, it might not be up to standard in a multi-million-dollar live-action show where we are revisiting a much-loved character from the George Lucas era. I tell ya, if only Fortress Inquisitorius was run by Therm Scissor Punch and Argus' Six Eyes Panox. You know, because he's got 6 eyes and he punches with scissor-like things. And the fortress is full of inquisitors. And how is this building a good idea in any way? I mean, we had Boba Fett's buddies living out on the ocean, but for a start, their building design made a lot more sense. They seemed to live in harmony with the environment. And for all we knew, they'd been living on that planet for thousands of years. Why would a governing military force build this one building on a water planet, moon, whatever the fuck it is, where there is limited space and no connection to anything else, just to run a museum of captured dead Jedi? Why would you have the building near the Emperor at the heart of the galaxy, or on a ship that would, you know, move you closer to where you are working? The Inquisitors must spend a fortune on accommodation when they're off on work trips. And do they even get separate rooms? Or is it really awkward when fifth brother and third sister have to share a room?
That seat is mine.
The Death Star looked amazing and became an instant movie icon.
That's no moon.
Yet it still had a design and capability that worked in the story and seemed believable. This is just some jerk-off idea that doesn't make any sense. What the fuck are these people doing here on this useless building, made in an environment not suitable or useful for any of them? What are they all doing here marching about? We know no one is monitoring the space above them or the sky and sea around this building. So what are they all doing? And to think, Scarif had all this going on.
There's a planet-wide defensive shield with a single main entry gate. This shuttle should be equipped with an access code that allows us through.
Yet in this show, anyone could just fly up to Fortress Inquisitorius. That gate protecting Scarif was the last time we actually got an interesting idea in Star Wars. What a pity.
I don't see any shields.
No shields. Well, that's real fucking convenient. Always a good sign of incredible writing talent when something we've seen used many, many times just disappears for the writer's convenience.
The shield will be down in moments.
The shield is still up.
The shield is down. I don't see any shields.
important military base in the middle of nowhere. And even though the Empire never seemed short of cash, they decided to save a few bucks by not putting the shields on this thing. The bloody half-built Death Star had a shield protecting it, but this permanent, very important base full of very important characters conveniently doesn't have any shields. Remember when Han, Leia and Luke went to turn off the shield protecting the second Death Star? And they had all this to contend with?
Now we find out if that code is worth the price we paid.
You rebel scum.
Well, those problems don't exist at Fortress Inquisitorius. The Empire's decided to help out the Hack Riders by removing all forms of security.
I don't see any shields.
Well, not all. For some reason, they still have security at the entrance to the building, like it's your local bank. They're overly confident that there will never be an air attack.
That's because no one will be stupid enough to attack them.
But they think someone may fly there and just try and walk in. But I have to admit the door staff are doing a wonderful job. The alarms are going off and people are running everywhere, but they don't think to stop the guy who obviously has a child under his coat. Idiots. Someone high up in charge considered door security the only line of defense needed at this highly classified important military base. Remember when Obi-Wan swam? We have to redo that again.
It should be right ahead of you.
In this show, every basic function of the military has been removed in the sake of shockingly bad writing. Bloody Best Buy has better security. Let's quickly thank today's sponsors, Displate. Displate is a new way to display your passions and make your home, apartment, or mum's basement look awesome. And it's simple. Displate's high quality metal prints come packed for protection and ready to hang. Every print arrives with everything you need to make it quick and easy to get those prints on the wall. It literally takes minutes. Just wipe that wall down, attach the wall sticker and magnet, and you're done. And Displate's clever magnet system makes it super easy to change your prints around whenever you want. Try one or two or swap them. Displate have thousands of designs to choose from, including Star Wars, Marvel, DC, TV shows, and all your favourite games. And go check out my personal collections. They include Star Wars proper, cult movies, the classics, retro, minimalist, and pop culture. I now have my own Death Star plans. Make sure to use the special link below to get some awesome discounts. And go visit Displate today.
I hope you like pain.
The Interrogation of the Child by the $2 store Sith was amazingly good at showing what a badly written, weak character Reva is. Leia got the best of her.
It's the hysteric contest.
Well, of course Leia did, because the writers think that a younger version of a character just means making them shorter. Their personality, intelligence, and willpower are all exactly the same as their older selves.
I don't know anything about a path.
You're strong.
Who needs life experience and maturity to develop a personality?
I hope you like pain.
I'll never tell you where they
Then
are.
it's time to make those tears real.
Fucking ouch. Ooh, this is starting to hurt. In a very interesting coincidence, the Orville recently had a very similar storyline to this episode. A child around the same age as Leia was being interrogated for information regarding the smuggling of an outcast group who have been sentenced to death by the ruling party. Luckily for us, the Orville has decided that every show doesn't have to feel like it was made by the Church of Scientology. In the Orville story, the child is no match for her captors.
Please stop. I don't know anything.
And they end up beating the shit out of her. Now, I would never dream that Disney would go that far, because Disney has an overpriced family hotel to fill.
I want to order that really expensive $5,000 Kyber crystal drink.
That's like a hard Kool-Aid to me.
This is $5,000 Tang. Bottoms up.
But if the creators are only willing to do some weird interrogation scene where Reva comes off looking weak and petty against a child, then don't do the interrogation scene, you hacks. But the other difference between the Orville story and the Reva versus Leia story is that the child in the Orville actually knew the information their captors were after, where in Obi-Wan, there was no plausible reason Reva could think Leia knew anything about the Jedi smuggling operation. She's just a naive, innocent child that was only taken to be used as bait. Reva had to guess that during the rush to escape, our sympathiser here took out time to explain everything to a 10-year-old. And that 10-year-old was listening and took everything in. The person who probably knew a lot about this large Jedi smuggling operation, the operation that would be very important to the Inquisitors, was the dude that was waiting to smuggle out Leia and a Jedi. The guy Reva killed to capture Leia, who knows nothing. That dead guy probably knew a shitload about the Jedi smuggling ring, seeing as he was part of it. But because the creators of this show have no fucking clue what this show is meant to be, and they can't even follow their own stupid story, they now want us to forget Leia was only taken as bait. Now we have to pretend that Leia is an important piece of the conflict between Reva and Obi-Wan. It's creative insanity.
I hope hope you like pain.
I'll never tell you where they are.
Now, if Reva wasn't written as a one-dimensional, shouty villain of the week character,
Say something! I'll never tell you!
she would be smart enough to convince Leia she was on her side and she was going to try and get her home. And Obi-Wan was really the bad guy. It might help get her out of all the shit she's going to be in for kidnapping an Imperial Senator's daughter. A problem that could have already spread back to Leia's family through Obi-Wan. But Reva is one-dimensional, so she decides torturing and killing the Imperial Senator's daughter is the way to go. That should go damn well with the Emperor. I tell you, the Emperor must be wondering, what the fuck has Vader been up to? He hasn't been to work for weeks.
Kenobi is all that matters now.
What does that Stormtrooper armor do? It is an interesting decision to build an underwater military base with so many windows. They must be very useful. I'm guessing so all the Stormtroopers can, maybe enjoy the fish? All these guys must be trying to get a good spot for the 2 p.m. mermaid show because the digital department has decided to place them in a position that has them all marching straight towards an external wall that's full of windows for no apparent reason. Oh, come on. We know the reason. It's the same reason why the light is hitting these guys from a completely different direction as everyone else in the scene, making the whole thing look like a lazy composite. It looks as if Lucasfilm has been using the free plugins again. Why the fuck are there windows? What purpose does this base have? And why isn't it important to fans watching a sci-fi fantasy show that the sci-fi part is so fucking idiotic? So this Imperial underwater base that is 100% occupied by the Empire, a base that is so removed from the rest of the galaxy that it doesn't even bother having shields. This base for some reason needs armed soldiers patrolling constantly. Who are they on their constant lookout for? Is there people breaking into this thing all the time? They're not in some town they're trying to keep under control, or it's a prison complex. There are even patrolling droids.
Secret droid. I see it.
Looks like they're everywhere.
In fact, the only job anyone seems to be doing in this building is patrolling the inside of the base while ignoring the outside. And something I definitely wouldn't do is have all these stormtroopers carrying weapons in an underwater facility that has very thin windows that are very easily broken. What idiot at the Imperial architectural firm thought a military base full of badly trained stormtroopers carrying blasters who are constantly on patrol should have underwater viewing windows to watch the fish?
Bend the window!
How was Fortress Inquisitors coming along, Vader?
We have decided to put in some windows so the lads can enjoy the fish when on patrol.
Excellent. And the glass will obviously be able to withstand an accidental blast hit.
What's that now?
Oh, shit. Your spaceship flying, laser sword fighting sci-fi fantasy shouldn't have materials that are less developed than we have here on Earth. A material us Earthlings use every day and fully understand its manufacturing capabilities.
Now for the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's hit it with the elephant rifle. Oh!
You guys know how to have fun in America.
I can't believe I hit it.
We've all seen an aquarium. We've all seen submarines. We all understand how glass thickness works. But apparently, the fucking writers don't. They don't seem to realise there's a reason why naval submarines don't have windows. Oh, look, completely dry. No water came in at all. That door is as magical as the one in The Last Jedi that lets Leia in, and none of the vacuum of space. I just love how the current Lucasfilm writers just group together ideas they've seen done so well in other movies, regardless if any of those scenes make any type of sense in what they are writing. And we haven't even got to the time-travelling snow speeders yet. Join me for part 2 because there's so much to say, and go visit Displate.